So the guy in the story does not know if what happened to him and his family is paranormal or not, but let me share the story. So at the time, he was 20 years old and he still lived with his mom and dad, and they lived out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a party that he wanted to attend. However, the party was in the city. Now, because it was in the city, he was hoping that his grandparents would let him stay the night there. That way he doesn't have to go all the way back home after the party is over. So his grandparents told him yes, that he could spend the night there, and they even gave him a key just in case they fell asleep, that he could just unlock the door himself and make his way to the bedroom where he would be sleeping in. He knew that he was gonna stay up late, so he went ahead and told them not to wait up for him because he would be late. He definitely had a fun night. He was out partying with his friends, and by the time he knew it, it was already 6 in the morning. He felt so guilty because he had been out all night, and he literally said goodbye to his friends. He said it was still a little bit dark, and he made his way to his grandparents' home. When he finally made it to his grandparents' home, he decided to knock on the door just in case, and when he did that, he noticed that the front door was already open, which indicated to him that his grandparents were already awake. In that moment, he felt so guilty because he's like, oh my gosh, what if they were up all night or woke up knowing that I wasn't here and they were like worried about me? When he finally walked in, he could hear them having a conversation in the kitchen, but everything sounded normal, like they weren't worried or anything like that. When he walks into the kitchen, he's noticing that they're drinking some coffee, and when they see him, he said that they looked all shocked and scared, and it was a scary look that he will never forget. Like, he had never seen them look so shocked in that moment. He explains that it wasn't a shock of like somebody walking into the house. It was like a genuine reaction, like a scared reaction. He said his grandmother even like touched her chest of how scared she was. And his grandfather looks at him and says, what are you doing here? He was like, what the heck? Because he's like, oh, maybe they forgot that I was staying the night. So he's like, remember I told you I was gonna stay the night here because I was gonna go to the party? You gave me the key, but the door was open, so I just walked in. He was like, did you guys forget that I was gonna stay the night here? The grandfather was like, no, yeah, we remember. And he's like, okay, well then what's wrong? Why are you looking at me the way you are? I'm here, like I just got here. I'm sorry I got here so late, but I'm here. Why are you guys scared? And that's when his grandmother finally said something. She said, but son, you already got here last night. After she says that, he starts laughing because he's like realizing they're playing a prank on him, but his grandparents did not laugh with him. They were completely silent, and you could tell that they were very confused. They explained to him that around midnight they'd heard when he got home, and that his grandfather even saw him from behind going to that room where he was gonna stay the night. That his grandmother was in the kitchen when he got there at midnight and even screamed to him like, hey, do you want something to eat? There's still food here. And that him or whoever that person was from that bedroom said, no thank you, I'm just really sleepy, I'm gonna go to sleep. His grandfather was like, he or you were wearing the same clothes when you came in at midnight that you're wearing right now standing in the kitchen. His grandfather then tells him, I mean, we woke up just a few minutes before you walked into the kitchen, and they both went to that door where he was staying at and asked him, hey, we're awake, do you want any breakfast? And that he or whatever or whoever is in that room responded to them, yeah, I'll be out shortly. And like 3 minutes after that, he just walks in from outside into the kitchen. He didn't know what to tell them. He was just like, are you sure? Like, are you 100% sure? Like, that is what you remember? That is what happened? And they were like, yes. And he's like, that's not even possible. I didn't realize it was 6 in the morning. I was still with my friends. I just got here. I never came last night. That's when he's like, let's go to that room. Because 3 minutes before he got there, that person was still like, yeah, I'll be out in a second to have breakfast with them. So they all decided to walk to that room together. Walking towards that room, he had never felt that amount of terror in his life. When they opened the door, he says that the entire room looked like someone had indeed stayed in there. Like, the bed was all over the place, the blanket was everywhere, like just things had been touched as if someone had been in that bedroom. And the strangest thing, even after all that, was that the restroom inside of that room still had like vapors from taking a shower coming out of it, like if somebody took a really hot shower. They were all dumbfounded, looking at each other like, what the hell? In that very moment where he's like, I really hope this was my imagination, they heard the front door open and close again, as if somebody had walked out. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only one who heard it. It was both of his grandparents that also heard somebody leave the house. He explains how they stayed very still for like what felt like a long time, and he ends up staying a few more days with them because he's worried, but nothing happened after that. Like, thankfully literally nothing happened after that. But he explains like, I was not there. I never even went there. I got there, got the keys, went to party, came back 6 in the morning, and apparently somebody who looked just like him was at his grandparents' home, which is fucking crazy. I'm thinking it's like a doppelganger story, but I don't know. What do you guys think?